The only
But-
downside to me with Mongols is it can be very spawn dependent.
Yeah.
You know, who's got an Uvu, who's got, oh, my Uvu and gold's under my town center and yours isn't, well, you lose, like that kind of thing. But enough about that one. We are now into one of these decider matches here between SAS and Crackedy. It's game number 1. It's Hill and Dale.
Yeah, and so just to kind of clarify the format, whoever wins this is going to advance to the single elimination top cut. And then whoever loses is going to go to the bottom bracket and then have the potential to advance out that way. So we do have Crackedy and the Byzantines in the cyan teal color on one side. And we have SAS as the Ottomans going for an early military school as the red Ottomans. And I don't like, what are your thoughts on this matchup? Like, do you think we're going to see a gulp build? Do you think it's going to be too much pressure? I don't think we're going to see it.
I don't think gulp build makes sense, especially now seeing the military school already out. I mean, you're already having that counter unit out early. Not necessarily, you know, even though spears aren't really a big deal for gulp, it's just they're already starting to mass them up early. They're already starting to pressure potentially your gold, or SAS is just going to push in his deer with this first spear is going to be my guess. But starting to mass that number up, and it makes it easy for Ottomans. They can match the timing and also have military themselves to defend or attack. So I feel like Otto matches the gulp build pretty well comparative to other civs.
Yeah, I think so. I've actually talked to Jiggly, the master of the gulp build, a little bit about it. And one thing that he has told me is if you are able to create a big feudal mass, that can really counter the gulp build. And Ottomans is a good, mass up civ. Admittedly, they are considerably nerfed from what they were in like their original incarnation when they were very, very strong at it.
But, you said feudal mass. What about Dark Age mass?
Oh no, what? Oh. Okay. This is why I like watching SAS and Crackedy, because they just do crazy things sometimes. And I didn't see this coming.
This is the opener you actually do against Mongols usually, or you used to do against Mongols, where you'd go military school and barracks, and then it would just be these, Dark Age spear masses that Otto would eventually end up winning, especially because this is building up, extra vizier points potentially over time. And oh my, it is not just spears. It's going to be a tower rush. We are in for some Dark Age action. The Grand Winery's on its way up. Crackedy, he's bringing back a haul of sheep, but he has bigger things to worry about here. There is a mass coming across of spears and villagers.
Oh yeah, he's like SAS is pulling 2 villagers. He's really committed to this. Now, the one thing that Crackedy does have is his berries and his gold are both in the back. If either of those were front spawning, I think he loses the game automatically, but he does have a chance. The other big question is, so SAS has seen the berries, so that's where he's gonna go.
And Crackedy just pushing in the deer with his scout like normal people do on this map. He's just like, all right, yeah, don't mind me. I'm just pushing these in. The spear arrives, and it's like, oh dang, I can't do anything. And that's not what the main focus was. The main focus here is the outpost to deny any of that early olive oil from coming in.
Yep, and Crackedy's scout does see the villagers, but he's not reacting. I don't think he sees the villagers.
I mean, he can't. How can he react to this though? It's like you could try to pop Acrotoid defense, and then SAS just walks away, cancels outposts, and you've just caused a ton of idle time. It's like the way you react to this is exactly what he's doing. Just keep gathering resources, gather as much of the berries, olive oil as you can, and then pull back on. Oh, there's the Acrotoid defense. He actually goes for it when the outpost is about halfway up. And this is where I think SAS just cancels, walks away. Yeah, see.
Yeah, this is not gonna work.
A lot of damage on those spears. I thought SAS wasn't even gonna take that fight. Spears, though, this is when they don't have torches. They have spears.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
it's always funny looking at that. Villagers, one villager quite low.
Accurate
And
defenses
now
have-
Limitane, this has been the stall tactic Crackedy needed. He was just waiting for his own spears to come out. He's able to start producing his own spears. Villagers need to run away for SAS now.
Yeah, the tower gets canceled, but it took so much damage, it's barely a refund. And
One villager falls from Crackedy. He still has 2 chasing down the villagers as well as a spear with it. I don't know if that's fully worth it to chase down with the villagers now, because there is a massive 4 spears chasing them as well. I think SAS loses. Yeah, SAS is going to lose the villager. But will he pick up another one in return?
yeah, that's... I don't think these... Okay. Oh, some reinforcements are coming in. Oh.
Picks up one. It's a 2 for 2 trade so far.
Yeah, with a lot of idle time
A
as well.
third's going to fall.
Yeah, that one's definitely going down. Can he get another one somehow? Oh no, Crackedy built a tower. Like to cover from this like going up again somehow.
I mean, either way, the SAS lost the 2 villagers he moved forward with. I don't think he's going to send another 2, but at least caused a reaction, forced Crackedy to react, forced Crackedy on the back foot. He got villager kills, idle time, although he had a ton of idle time himself with those 2 villagers. And water level is just now getting up to level 2, and Crackedy's building another outpost on the gold because the spears are on the way. He only has 1 limited A out still. This outpost ain't going up. This is still a huge win for SAS. Gold should be denied.
Yeah, SAS is doing very well for himself, and he just hit feudal, so we're about to see Harden come through as well. And that upgrade takes like 10 seconds. So it's not going to take long for these 5 spears to upgrade and be able to fight these limited A even more effectively.
Yep. So Crackedy's still being denied off of gold for a good little bit. He's got 300 gold in the bank. He's got a Merc house on the way. But he is just still being forced to react over and over again. Meanwhile, SAS behind this, he isn't producing anything yet out of the military, but he's dropping a blacksmith. He's dropping a range. He's dropping another range. He wants to send this in feudal.
Yeah, and he's also picking up double broadaxe, so he's just gonna pump archers pretty soon. And he is, oh geez, like I think SAS is doing really well here. Like I'm not gonna say he has the game, but he has a lot of damage.
He's definitely got some tempo on his side. Limited A though, starting to equalize in number. It's 5 spears. The archers are not yet moving across the map yet for SAS. He's just now getting them into queue. Crackedy taking another fight. SAS not reacting, taking a lot of damage on those forward spears though.
Yeah, and they're starting to die there. Oh, that's so unfortunate. It's especially bad because there's so many limited A that are at low HP that if he had reacted quick enough, he could have actually just picked them off. And
the numbers were somewhat even, so he could have taken some fine trades. Crackedy reclaims gold immediately. 8 villagers move out, but only 1 on the outpost. If SAS was actually moving across the map with these archers fast enough, he could potentially get there. And oh, I lied. There's the longbow mass.
Yeah, you hate to see it, and it's especially bad because like longbows are just so good against Ottomans anyway that it's not like you feel bad. Oh no, I have to make longbowmen against this. It's like, okay, I have longbowmen and they're really good in this matchup.
Yeah, but look at what this reaction has done. SAS, he is now the one that's much closer to Castle H. He still has been able to produce some archers throughout all this. He's got 7 archers, so can defend or even push forward, take some decent trades, and is going to be going castle any second now. Where Crackedy, he's making more limited A, which is not, it's just going to keep delaying his castle timing.
Yeah, no, this is very... I don't know how to feel about this because I feel like SAS is splitting hairs a little, or like not splitting hairs, but he's going in 2 directions here because he built up this feudal mass of archers, got like a bunch of barracks or got like a couple archery ranges and everything like that. but he hasn't done anything with it, and instead he's going castle. Like, we are seeing the MIA on its way up here.
I mean, he's got a better timing, though. He just scouted the army of Crackedy that's moving forward, and he knows exactly the number he needs to react to. He sees, okay, 5 longbows, 4 limited A. All right, all I need to do is make a few more archers, and I can hold this push very, very easily.
Yeah, and... yeah, no, I don't know. This feels a little bit weird to me.
Instead, he actually just pulls back. He's pushing forward with his army and maybe going to try to wait for castle. I'm so confused why he just pushed forward with his army. He scouted Crackedy's army the whole entire way.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, and now he's coming back because he kind of realized...
Oh, crap. They could actually go stop my castle age here.
Yeah.
Oh, and Crackedy stops. Oh,
Crackedy, you were so close.
That was such a close timing.
He sees the MIA, and he's too late.
Yeah, it finishes, and now now he's on top of the production that can now make castle age units. Sipahi coming out. The archers also are here as well. A meter.
Yeah, a meter, and we also have a knight in production as well.
Limitane take the fight. They tried to turn around to hit the Sipahi, but instead that allowed the archers to close the gap. The rest of Crackedy's spears are now dead. He's trying to run away with those few longbows. He knows that he doesn't have movement speed to do so. No, he just misclicked. He just misclicked. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's read that.
Yeah.
And look at the relics.
By the way, Crackedy did age up. He does have a golden horn tower, by the way. We completely missed that.
Oh, yeah, he was just a couple, like I was saying, SAS was just a little bit ahead of him, but the key SAS, he was able to move out with the imams that he produced, what got with the free vizier point. That being said, one of the imams about to get taken down. The second one has already dropped a relic off at home and probably going to be moving out for another relic.
Oh, no. Oh, no. The Lancer is about to die.
Oh!
Oh, God.
Circles around the wrong way. The rest of the spears will fall. Another batch of longbows have arrived, immediately sniping out the meter.
Yeah, that is some very unfortunate miss micro there, losing the meter and the knight like that. But, I mean, we have men-at-arms out of SAS, which is really good in this situation. We are... Are those Varangian Guard I see in the queue?
They are Varangian Guard in the queue.
Oh my.
So Crackedy gonna try to start massing some Varangian Guards. Longbows and more longbows as well. So it makes it very hard for SAS to transition into crossbows of his own because the longbows just will trade so well into that. And the Varangians pop out. And SAS decides to start running away.
Yeah,
Relic getting snagged by Crackedy as well.
Yeah, and SAS unfortunately doesn't have he doesn't have veterancy on his archers, and I don't think I don't know. I would say he's not planning on getting it, but he keeps making archers.
If he's queuing up more archers, I would assume that he should be getting it. Maybe he just can't sacrifice the gold to do so right now.
Yeah,
he is able to snipe out the monk though.
Ooh, very nice pickup.
So another monk falls. Crackedy has walled off one of the relics, so one relic for each player, although SAS does not have a... Oh, there it is. Does have a moss now, so it's 2 relics for SAS. It's actually going to be 3 easy relics for SAS already secured now. 2 of them in there producing gold already, so veterancy on the archer is not too hard anymore once he's got some free gold income coming in.
Oh, definitely. And as soon as you say that, he actually queues up veterancy on the archers. So, I mean, you know, it makes sense. He just needed a little bit of time. I am rather surprised we have not seen any additional military schools.
As you say that, puts down another military school.
This is a really fun version of the caster curse where nothing goes wrong. I'm just predicting everything by pretending it's a problem. We haven't seen any Janissaries either. Is that going to start queuing up too? Maybe? Actually, there's no cav. There's no reason to make Janissaries right now, especially against longbowmen.
And Mom barely stays alive. There's so many men-at-arms here. The archers just get the veterancy upgrade right during the fight. The Mangonel arrives, gets a good AoE shot off onto the men-at-arms mass, but there's a lot of men-at-arms. They're just going to V-line for that Mangonel. And SAS, his archers, they've just been getting slaughtered by the men-at-arms mass. He did not have a front line here, and he's going to lose the Mangonel for this. Good split by Crackedy.
Yeah, and okay, Springald is pretty good against Varangians. I'll give that.
Springald's fine. He needs men-at-arms and crossbows, though, and he just doesn't have the numbers here for this fight, I don't think. Yet again, Springald's getting closed down on men-at-arms, focusing down the Springald. It gets cleared. There's a second Springald on the backside as well. A few more crossbows, a few more men-at-arms. SAS does have that defender's advantage. Units have been able to get here much quicker, and now the crossbows able to clear up the men-at-arms very, very quickly.
Yeah, that was a very sloppy fight from SAS, and he managed to get it. And also, at the same time, Crackedy lost 2 prelates trying to get that last relic next to his base. So
yes, that one single knight that SAS had circling is providing so much value.
Yeah, and it's currently getting chased down by 2 Limitine and 2 Varangian. Like, yeah, we're starting to see the Ottoman mass building up here, and it's looking pretty good.
And this is the key difference in the civilizations. Byzantines, they're starting to make this olive grove transition. This huge amount of olive groves is going to pay off. It's going to provide a bunch of olive oil, more mercenaries. SAS, he just dropped 2 more military schools. So he's got his 4 military schools online and pumping, and just Q will be nonstop here from that.
Oh, most certainly. Oh no, Crackedy's on this 8k gold in the center. Like he's trying to like get the towers.
He's only got 200 left, and he needs to go to the side, but that's the side that his prelates have kept dying at, and there's still knights roaming that side. So he chose the middle, like you said. At least he's doubling down on the outpost before starting the gold mining. I see so many people, they'll move out with like 5 villagers, and they'll put 1 on the outpost, and it's like, oh no. Like you need to get that up before you do anything. And SAS is at an 8k right near. Look at that.
Dabston, why you gotta attack me like that, describing how I put my towers up, man? Like, that's a little unnecessary. But yeah, no, they're literally on the same screen with how close they are to each other, and I am. Oh, knight diving inside the base. Nothing actually going on. Yeah, if they notice each other, we're gonna see a really big fight very, very quickly.
Yep, sacred site starting to be secured by SAS, though, and he does have that 4-to-1 relic differential finally. He was able to deny that, the one Crackedy. It felt like he had it in his grasp, but denied and secured by SAS, bringing it back. He's almost to his military mass, and I don't think that there's a way that Crackedy can counteract that.
No, I completely agree. Like, unless SAS throws away his army in some capacity, which, you know, I guess
Springals are OP
possible.
now, right? If they're not OP, they're going to be OP against the mass that Crackedy has, because it's all infantry. He doesn't really have a lot of units to get on top of a Springald, and it's not just one Springald. There's 4 of them out for SAS, and that damage adds up fast.
Oh, and SAS is building a forward blacksmith so he can just have forward production. Oh, this is so clever. Yeah, I mean, I think that the Springald is probably the best siege unit to get out of the MIA at this point. And, you know, if you're getting free siege units, you may as well use them. And
gold sniped down by SAS. So the gold in the middle of both sides has been spotted out now. They've realized that they're gathering gold close to each other.
Yeah, but the problem is Crackedy has a Mangonel tower, so this is literally unkillable. Like, I'm not even joking. I don't think SAS can kill that Mangonel tower without making rams.
I mean, or you just change the MIA to a Treb and start trebbing it from where this keep's about to finish.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely a good plan. And, well, not only do we have the keep, we also have a forward outpost to get vision, although that's not going to
And not
not
only
long to
that,
this world.
look at the other outposts in the west. SAS dropped an outpost in between the two 8Ks in the west to make sure if this 8K in the center gets denied, he has vision right when Crackedy's going to move out to the other ones. If he gets upgrades and reinforcements into that, again, not an easy position to just take down quick.
That outpost sees all 3.
And
AKs
look
on
at
the west side.
where Crackedy's moving right now as we speak. Oh no. You can see the outlines around the 8K.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, Crackedy, you should have just doubled down on the first one.
He spots the keeps that's finished as well, so he's trying to posture this military in the center. The military masses, they're climbing fast. We're seeing like 20 plus units pop out every minute.
Yeah, we were at 30 apiece just a few moments ago, and that has changed rapidly. But
Sprinkled emplacement finishes on that outpost, and SAS is also getting fortifications 25 seconds, but the whole entire army of Crackedy's headed that way.
So the question here is, does Crackedy try to zerg down the gold he knows, the initial gold, or does he respond to the army? And it looks like he's doing neither, which is very unusual. Like, you have to make some sort of play here.
He didn't even get the outpost up. The outpost is getting denied because of the sprinkled emplacement.
Are you kidding me?
And it now has fortifications, so the torches actually will take this down. There's so many units there. But, I mean, provided more than enough value, that's another couple villager picks. It also allows SAS to raid the other gold vein that he was on as well. Another 2 villager picks over there. Crackedy moves forward, does the same though. So we saw a bunch of villager trades, 8-8 on villager kills.
Yeah, and we were only at 2-3 a few moments ago, but we've had all 4 of these gold mines have just been bloodbath zones, and I mean, I'm here for it.
Look at what we got rolling up to that keep. I can almost say, I mean, this has been what, the 4th time this game we've just called something that should happen that happens.
A trebuchet? Yeah, well, to be fair, we said the trebuchet that SAS should make the trebuchet to kill the.
No, SAS does have a trebuchet right next to the keep.
I'm sorry. I was looking at Crackedy's trebuchet. Okay, well, we're in full siege mode now.
And fight is going on now on the western side. Springald's moving up. Springald's are firing. Crackedy having a Springald of his own.
Oh my God.
He did not have all of his army here, though. Look at the reinforcements that are on the way. Springalds need to turn. The AoE is on fire, but Crackedy, he took the fight at the perfect opportune time. SAS did not have a defensive position, did not have his military there, and there were land snakes here again. Absolute cleanup by Crackedy's army. And yeah, military schools are great, but they don't produce as fast as a barracks does, and it takes time for those to catch on up, and time that SAS may not have here.
No, most certainly. Like, you know, SAS had an army of 70 units a minute ago, and he's down to 36. Like, he just lost pretty much everything, and Crackedy is just moving in, and he's just gonna take it.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, Crackedy's longbows counter just about everything on SAS's side. There's not enough men-at-arms to make a difference. It's mainly janissaries, it's mainly crossbows, and the longbows just will eat their lunch for breakfast. I don't even know what I said there. That didn't make sense, but hey, this Crackedy is absolutely slaughtering SAS's whole entire army mass. Yeah. SAS is not gonna have anything to defend. The keep he dropped was in the center, not at home, not on the production. This is not looking good if you are a fan of SAS.
Yeah, and even if and that keep is under siege too, so even that central position holding that AK is starting to crack, and he's not going to have gold in a minute.
There's 5 longbows that are also on that gold vein in the center. They've been taking down villagers this whole time. 4 villagers fallen. The wood line now has to be evacuated. SAS is on the berries as well. He dropped a 2nd TC on the wood line over in the south, just in the corner. Maybe as like this last ditch effort. The problem is this isn't a team game. You don't have someone to distract your opponent for a good amount of time. You just have your own defenses, your own units.
Yeah, and oh god, I mean, 2 military versus 49. Yeah, you got siege, but this isn't StarCraft. You can't play just pure mech.
He actually got a lot of these units for Crackedy's are lower health. So if he just kind of walks into these inopportune fights, inopportune positions, those masses could go down quick, and he just takes another couple mangonel shots, giving SAS time to breathe somehow, some way. Another keep gets dropped on the backside for SAS. He's going onto the wood line in the east.
Yeah, I mean, and as we say this, like the Sipahi that SAS does have is protecting his 8K, doing a very good job at that. And you know, SAS is ahead on military or on economy right now, despite losing 16 villagers, which means that second TC has actually been there for a hot minute.
And he's trying to fast build these walls. There's 5 more longbows, but Sipahi are here to close the gap. Crackedy. Okay, yeah, there it is. 2 more villagers should fall, maybe.
Yeah,
actually,
like
textiles are in. Nah, it's just one.
Oh,
it's just one villager.
Textiles is such a good upgrade. No. Yeah, textiles is such a good upgrade. So that, I mean, he's still in the game. Oh, SAS
is indeed in the game still. SAS is making the transition to Lancers. Makes sense because all he needs to do is just delay, stall, try to give himself more and more time. He's building more walls. He's had the second TC now that he has built farms around too. So he's just trying to hide himself. And he's also building, he's built 5 markets. 5 markets.
What?
Yeah.
What the?
And he's trading. SAS is trading.
Okay.
If he gets any time here, literally just 3 minutes is all he needs, and he'll be good to go. And the wall in the center, not quite fully finished though.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting because like a lot of SAS's production is in the center, so he is about to lose. He's going for a raid to stall it out. Look, his whole entire mass. He's got those Sipahi. He's got those Lancers, and he's just gonna go try to hit the gold that he knew is there. And Crackedy, he's gonna have to react to this. He's gonna be forced to pull some military back, right? And Crackedy didn't get mangonel towers. Like this is this raid is gonna do a lot because it's not gonna die. Okay, we're seeing a couple of limited naked.
We're just seeing spears rally that way instead. So the villagers are falling.
Yeah, that was 5 villagers right there. And Crackedy, I think Crackedy is too slow. Like he's taking all of this time to kill.
SAS has no military. He's got siege. This is one of those things. Is like you need to pull the trigger, or else you're gonna lose. And he has the units to pull the trigger with. He can, he's got 3 cataphracts. He can easily just dive through that mass. SAS doesn't have spears. He's 3 janissaries to defend it. The janissaries will take like 9 volleys to kill a cataphract with that.
Yo, you're completely right. I feel like SAS is being given time because all the central production is dying. But I don't think SAS is utilizing that time well enough for it to really matter.
Still needs more farms. He's dropping more farms behind this. He's getting that eco boom that he needs. The walls are stalling just enough. Crackedy, he burns through the walls in the east instead of just running right through the center, not realizing there's a keep already there. SAS quick building some stone walls too.
Yeah, the stone walls are really good go.
Now Crackedy, he spots out the trade. A couple of cataphracts are through to that backside. But at the same time, SAS is able to take a fight in the middle with his cavalry and is able to clean up, these small little unit groupings, which is his way back in the game. Also is on top of the hill with his siege, firing down on some other units.
God, this game is getting a little bit crazy here. I don't know. That's a lot of siege, but I don't know if it's enough unless this fight happens underneath the keep.
And SAS goes back to the outpost yet again, back to the 8K again. He's trying to make Crackedy react, force a reaction, but Crackedy, he says, I don't care about those villagers. I can just send more reinforcements that way. But he's gonna lose another 5, maybe 7 villagers after this.
Yeah, and Crackedy at no point got mangonel towers on those. So this hasn't cost SAS any units to do. But okay, we are seeing the trebuchet from earlier coming out for Crackedy, taking down these stone walls. So that is a point of weakness that has opened up on this east side, and the keep can get sieged down as well.
Crackedy doesn't even need that gold. He has 3,500 gold in the bank. He just needs to push in, and this mass is huge to do so, but it is so grouped together. If he goes through a choke point and isn't paying attention, the mangonels, the springalds, they can absolutely crush. Oh my gosh, SAS is moving up. Crackedy, hopefully he's paying attention.
Big hit, big hit. That's a big hit. That's another big hit. Oh my, oh God.
I mean, that's a start, and the Springald gets taken down.
That was like 8.
And I mean, it's happening again. More units falling, half the mass is running, and by running, I mean slowly walking with the siege, and some of the units are trying to kite.
You know, I said earlier that you can't, this isn't StarCraft, you can't do pure mech, but you can do a lot of mech in this game, apparently. Because that was...
I mean, if your opponent doesn't dive into it, then yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, I mean, that was like 20... That was like 20 Limited and Longbowmen that just disappeared.
And during this, look at what SAS is doing. He's dropping a keep in the center. Remember, he has the trade. He has a second TC behind this. He's up 50 economy now somehow.
Yeah. How much trade does... SAS
I don't think he has much trade. I mean, actually, I say that. He's got like 20 traders.
So the funny thing is, yeah, it's
21. Yeah,
21 traders. He's got 2 TCs. Like, well, he has definitely lost
like 80% of the way up here in the center.
No.
But Crackedy's here. He's reacting to it. It's gonna go up. He's just burning it now to start.
Is it? It goes up. Boiling oil is in effect.
So close. The siege is so close. He's trying to get behind the walls, actually. Instead, he turns.
SAS, you got to take the fight.
The siege is turning. And it's just so much AoE. Look at Crackedy's army. It's just starting to just get demolished. Oh my God. All the units on the sacred site just got obliterated.
Oh, wow.
The villagers run around the fire, so we'll be able to now burn down the rams, and all of a sudden Crackedy is the one with no military. He's going up to Imperial age, just like SAS is too, though. Both players going to be Imperial. SAS is just going to have 40 more economy.
Yeah, I mean, SAS is going to have 40 more economy, but never, like, the Istanbul Observatory does so much because it increases your production speed by like 60%.
And SAS is 200 pop. Meanwhile, Crackedy's 146. I don't know how this happened. I mean, obviously we know how it happened, but oh my gosh, looking back, this felt like this was such a absolutely game over. But that just shows you, if you give your opponent time. SAS went full greed. He said, my only way back in it is not only a TC, it's 5 markets. And sure enough, it was his way back in it.
No, I have to commend SAS for this one. This game has been absolutely insane. Like, I don't know any other way to describe it, is other than just absolutely nuts. And I hope we're gonna see great bombards, but
I mean, Crackedy is up to 15 traders himself now. So he's trying to match this trade boom, but he's got the gold. He's got that now. What he's going to be lacking is the map control, the 8K golds, the big wood lines in the center, all these keeps that SAS has dropped. They're much more useful throughout the points of this game, whereas Crackedy's been losing the control. He just lost an 8K, the sacred site. Walls are being burned in the north where the trade got started too, so SAS is going to start, you know, trying to delay and deny some of this trade.
No, you're completely correct, and it's kind of funny because SAS is able to gather off of these central gold veins, but he doesn't need them because of how good his trade is.
I mean, look at the upgrade differential right now. SAS 5 different upgrades in queue. Meanwhile, Crackedy, he's got 2. And one of those is elite contracts, which is very, very key for him. But it's just, it just feels like SAS has so much more tempo, so much more resources in reserve, in queue, everything.
No, you're completely correct. It's and not just what's in queue, but also what's been researched. You know, SAS has almost all tier 3 upgrades across the board, whereas Crackedy doesn't have like level two horticulture.
Look at this line of siege in the center too. He's finally taken down that 8k gold location. He leaves the siege alone, but by the time any of Crackedy's units even get on top of a mangonel, they're all dead. One mangonel falls, but he loses 25 units doing so.
Oh no. Yeah, it's not only is this happening, but also in the east, some horsemen managed to get behind the stone walls while they were building up and are raiding that as well.
Oh, no, the stone walls. Yeah, the stone walls are trying to be built. Limit and A are being rallied in, but they're not being moved in, so they're literally just going in and dying while villagers are falling as well. There's so much stuff going on for Crackedy. He can't control it right now, but there are royal cannons. 3 royal cannons.
And it does take two volleys to get a springald. So like we are going to start seeing the siege die.
They just ran through a choke point and they just all died.
I don't know what limited today you're talking about because they died too quickly for me to see.
Exactly.
No, like I think Crackedy has this. I think Crackedy actually has this siege. This fight here.
Yes,
like
he
so
has
much of the
the
siege is
fight.
going to die.
SAS just lost his frontside mass, but the key here isn't the frontside mass. Is look at the SAS has 4,000 food, 4,000 golden queue. Crackedy's 160 pop. SAS should be able to stay at 200 for the rest of the game and make Crackedy struggle and bleed, but not yet happening. First Great Bombard is on the way out. SAS needs more production, plain and simple. And that's oh my gosh, as I say that, 9 production buildings get dropped.
We can see the future, Dabston. My third eye is open, and I know what's going to happen before it does. As the Sipahi just run in and eviscerate all these longbowmen and all the siege. The royal cannons are going down. One of them's down. Another one's down. There's
double mangonels fall.
There's only 2 royal cannons left. One of them's at 1 HP.
And you said 1 HP, now they're just splinters onto the ground. And again, SAS's queue is going to be inevitable. Non-stop Crackedy. He has 7 spears and the Streltsy now in queue, but SAS, it's non-stop Sipahi, Lancers, Great Bombard. Anything he wants, he can start making.
Yeah, this is... I don't know what to tell you. You know, like... The only saving grace that Crackedy has is the fact that he has been able to keep the 3rd sacred site from getting ticked.
Look at the upgrades now. SAS is literally clicking everything. He has every single tier 3 upgrade. He's now getting elite lancers, now getting elite men-at-arms. I don't even know if he has men-at-arms out on the field, but it's like, why not click the upgrade? If you got the gold, he's got resources. He's gonna spam keeps, bombard outposts throughout. This is one where late game gets annoying.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a green flag there for SAS. Is that a Delhi flag based on all those upgrades? Because holy crap, you know.
I mean, that is what it seems. He's getting court architects. I don't think he's gonna have upgrades
what does court
left to get.
Architects do?
It's your buildings increased by 30%.
Oh, okay. I never see that upgrade. It's like one of the last ones you get in Imperial Age, so I just forget it even exists. But okay. Yeah,
Sacred sites start to being attempted. I think SAS is just going to go for the pure value play here. He said, yeah, you might be all limited, which Crackedy actually has the army to beat this. He's got 53 elite Limitine, whereas SAS, it's Lancers and Sipahi. So the head-on fight doesn't feel the greatest. There's still going to be great bombards there to support, though, so will help take down the grouped infantry mass. But even still, the value doesn't. It reigns supreme, but maybe not that supreme.
I think you're underestimating the great bombards. Because one great bombard will instantly kill a single Limitine, and then we'll do more. So, yeah, like the guy that just walked into the center for no reason, for some reason. I think that the Great Bombards are going to do so much damage that it's going to actually boggle your mind. Because I don't think that SAS is going to ever have to worry about his knights getting hit.
Cannon's starting to siege down his keep. He debating and starting to move forward, and there is the mass of Limitane. Janissaries here to help defend. SAS splits his knights into two different groups, two different parties, probably one to dive on the siege and one to just be a front line, and that is exactly what he's doing. Great Bombards trying to move up. Crackedy pulling spears back to try to help keep the siege alive, but it just falls and gets broken apart so quickly, and just in the blink of an eye, his whole entire mass is gone.
Jesus. Oh my god. So, oh my god, man. That game was insane. Like, holy.
I don't know how that game ended up the way it did. It should have been over earlier. I thought it was over earlier. And then all of a sudden, it reminded me of a team game when all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, we took Blue out of the game. He's dead. And then like 10 minutes later, you're like, how does Blue have 80 knights? And then you see the replay and it's like he dropped 4 TCs, 5 he got time to full boom all of a sudden.
So I actually think this might be my new favorite game that I've casted. Because it was so fun. Like everything happened. It was constant fighting. It was a lot of like fun booming. You know, it wasn't like ABBA 4 TC boom, but it was, you know, this like that desperate boom of like if I can hold out for 5 more minutes and like get these trainers going, like, oh man, like there's just so much that happened. And honestly, like Ottomans looked really good in that game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was a really fun game to cast, a really fun game to watch, and unfortunately is my last one that I will be casting today.
No. I'm gonna be alone, chat. And it is going to be a Crackedy on Malians and Rus being played by SAS. So hope you guys are going to have as much fun with this as I will. Like I said, that last game was just absolutely insane. I cannot believe what happened there. It was an absolute blast to cast. I was really happy we could cast with Dabson, but here we are with in the cyan or teal. Chat, you can let me know which one you prefer to call it. But we have Crackedy as the Malians on Gorge, and on the other side of the map we have SAS playing as the Rus, going for the double hunting cabin build. So, you know, as we've talked about before with Rus, you always, well, with everybody, you really always have to consider, are you going to see pro scouts? And I think that, you know, double hunting cabin is how you know it's going to happen. So I fully expect to see that soon enough, as once we get into the feudal age. But we do see a 4-house pit mine set up from Crackedy here, as he just keeps on keeping on. And oh, we will get that set over there for you. Cyan makes me think of Red Alert, and teal makes me think of Age of Empires. Okay. But yeah, second scout coming out for SAS here. Nothing too unusual, and everything looks to be pretty much normal right now. Nothing happening too much in this early game, but the question for this game is going to be whether or not the question for this game is going to be how effective pro scouts are. Is each player going to just get two deer packs? Is it going to be one player gets 3 or like 2.5, something like that? Because that will drastically influence the way this game goes. I know that SAS is going to, I mean, both players are going to want to go into it, especially since Warrior Scouts are quite good as well. So that is the big question. And then from there, it's going to be, are we going to stay in feudal or are we going to go into castle? I feel like in this matchup, both civs are going to want to go into castle as soon as Pro Scouts is established. And they have that going. Most likely we are going to see a... okay, so we do see a Golden Gate out of SAS, but for the Castle Age, we're probably going to see a High Trade House for Rus. And then for Crackedy on the Malians, we are going to see a... Grand Filani that will eventually become a cow boom. But I think if he gets a lot of deer, he might just go for a blank Grand Filani and then just build up cows around it while he's still munching on his deer. So that will be interesting to see. Oh, chat. Oh, chat. I messed up the scores. Flip score. Are we right? I think we're right. Okay. We got it. We got it set. Don't worry, we're professionals here. Professionally comedic, but maybe not much else. And yeah, like just a really slow early game here. Quite honestly, the exact opposite of what we had last game, where it was action from the start. But SAS is already up to 4 scouts on his is already up to 4 scouts. So like obviously he's going to be going for pro scouts. The question is just going to be like, how is he going to afford it? He is you know, like he has the wood and he's a bit off on the gold. I guess okay, I mean use the golden horn use the golden gates, sell some wood or sell some food and just get up that way, I think is kind of like his plan. Possibly, probably. Up. No, he sold wood instead. What happened to Dabson? Dabson had to get going. He was only going to be able to cast for a couple hours. So we managed to get as much. We managed to get a lot. We managed to get more out of him than we were actually originally planning. He was supposed to go before that last game started, but we got really lost in the sauce and having a lot of fun with it. So, all right, the scouts are, while Pro Scouts is researching, the scouts are already getting some work done, burning down some Malian houses. This is not going to population cap Crackedy in any way, but it is going to result in some it is going to result in a pretty decent decrease in his mining capacity, in his gold capacity right now. And oh, that's a bold move there, Crackedy, trying to get that house up. Like, it's just going to burn down as soon as it builds. So now you have to repair it. Oh, I mean, I understand not wanting to get population cap, but I really don't think that was the right play. As a warrior scout does come out to push this away. 2 warrior scouts come out to push this away, and I mean, 7 scouts can kill 2 warrior scouts, even because they do get the bonus damage against them. And we are seeing that in action here. But these scouts, as soon as pro scouts happens, they can just pick up an entire deer pack and not have to care. Fight re-engage, the scouts re-engage. One of them almost dies. Another one almost dies. This is going much, much better for SAS because Crackedy is just trickling them in and they're getting surrounded and having to run away. And on the other side of the map, we have what? Pro Scouts on the way? Pro Scouts is finished up, okay. And SAS is just transferring over into a very large push for wood. I'm rather surprised by this. I guess I am willing to bet that this is actually because it's going to be, it's one to get spearmen, but it's also because it's more efficient to chop wood as Rus with the Golden Gate as a way to get gold. So I think he's going to be doing that instead. This entire deer pack has been picked up by SAS. And unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to get any of Crackedy's packs. So we are looking at a 2-2 split when it comes to the deer. Which, you know, you never want to see an even split. You always want to just have the advantage. And unfortunately, I don't foresee that happening. He'll have to come over here, pick up these, and then run back. Why are there only 5 deer over here? That is very, very unusual. And oh, SAS is trying to. He's either trying to contest this pit mine, or he thinks that there's more deer over here than there actually is. I'm not certain which. I'm afraid it's that he thinks that there's more deer than there actually is. And this pit mine is actually canceled completely. Crackedy was starting to build houses around it, and he realized this is a bad idea. He saw the spearmen on the way, and he saw the scouts. So we'll see if Crackedy is able to, or if SAS is able to like find any of Crackedy's scraps. But this looks completely picked through. And in the meantime, on the other side of the map, we are seeing a bit of a cow boom. You know, we got 2 ranches going down, and we do have a barracks as well. So this is looking pretty good for Crackedy. And he's just setting up at a small mine instead of around a big one, which makes sense. Like eventually you'll get that big one, and you'll get that passive gold that way. It's not really a big deal if it's delayed slightly. Warrior Scout just doing Warrior Scout things, trying to be annoying. It's not gonna die to this tower. Nope. One full volley would have gotten it, but it's not gonna die. And like, look, it's already regenning up massively. And yeah, there's a single deer left over here that Crackedy won't be able to get, which I guess does mean that Crackedy gets an advantage. And on the same side, Spearman just running in, trying to scout and find out what's happening, sees all the houses, sees the double racks production, and these are Musafati coming out. This is really surprising to me, because like we don't have any armored units out of SAS right now. SAS has not made any knights, and if he doesn't make knights, these Musafati are actually dead weight, because they are worse than a Donzo by a fair bit, and they're also more expensive than a Donzo because they are gonna cost gold, which even for Malians is the more valuable resource, especially when you're losing your pit mines. So, I don't know what these Musafati are supposed to do. Like, I guess they can stealth and just get on top of something, but we do see that high trade house coming out of SAS. Not going to be a great one, but it is going to be good enough, I think. And the fight does happen. The Warrior Scouts are trying to get a wrap around here, and we have Scout on Scout action and Musafati on Spear action, but SAS realizes this is not a good way to take the fight, and he reallocates his spears onto the Warrior Scouts. So right now, this fight actually looks pretty good for him. Normally, seeing Scouts as dead weight in the military graph, but when you're fighting Warrior Scouts, it's not. And no, I think. Oh, SAS is trying to get this villager because he's prioritizing this villager. He's going to lose this fight overall, I think, which is super unfortunate. Like, I think that's a misallocation of resources, and I think he could have done a lot better in this fight if he hadn't done that. But it doesn't really matter for him. He is just keeping Crackedy on his side of the map. He's burned down 1 pit mine and forced him to rebuild that in several houses. He slowed down this pit mine's production, and in the meantime, he's aged up. Crackedy is still, 300 gold away. And even when he does age up, it's not like he's going to have a good Grand Filani. He's just going to have a Grand Filani that affects 6 cows instead of, 20. So I think this is fine. I think this is exactly what SAS wants out of the game. He already has his monastery up. He is going for relics. We're going to see we might see another game in a row. Like, this might be like every game today has been a 4-1 relic split. And I think we're going to see that soon enough. But Horse Archers are fighting Musafati. They are pretty, these are pretty quick units, but they're also pretty fragile. And they do not want to be fighting this. They do not want to be fighting Horse Archers if they're going to just kite. So Grand Filani is on its way up for Crackedy, and I think he's. I don't really know what Crackedy's plan is here, because I think that this Musafati mass is just not doing anything. As long as SAS holds off on making men-at-arms and knights, the Musafati aren't ever going to do anything either. Like, this unit's very underwhelming if it's not fighting its desired foe. And even as I say that, we're getting veterancy for it because I don't know why. Like, to a degree, it's because Crackedy is invested enough into the Musafati that he wants to get them to be veterans. So what he does have is able to do more. But I really don't think that investing as much investing any more into this unit over Donzo's is actually going to get him anywhere. Oh, and Warrior Scout. Just doing Warrior Scout things. Yeah, Musafati managed to surround a group of spearmen, and then they fall prey to the horse archers and have to run away. We decided to take the fight a little bit more. And this is super unfortunate for Crackedy. He has a couple javelins, but he doesn't have enough of a mass to really be able to hold this fight and to get what he needs done. Like, he's being forced off of his own gold by, you know, these six horse archers and like a single spear, because they're able to just kite everything infinitely. Honestly, I'm very surprised. We have seen no villager kills this entire game, and with how much fighting we've had and how localized the fighting has been around Crackedy's base, I figured we'd see at least 1 or 2 by now. But this game has been low army count because everything's just dying so quickly because of how much everyone's fighting. But we are starting to see Sofa show up for Crackedy, and I think that once they get Sofa, once he gets imported armor, I think we'll start seeing them do really well there, because they are a very tanky unit that is very much able to tank the damage that you get from very much able to tank the damage that you would get from a horse archer. Seeing a horseman running around. Oh. All right. So Crackedy hasn't managed to get a relic, but he is managing to get sacred sites, which is something. Oh wow, this is a 5-0 relic game. That's really rough. And we have a boar as well for SAS, which is just so good for him. And he's getting all this really good information as well. All right, we are finally getting this pit mine over here built up. So we are getting a little bit of a trickle of gold, which is good. And it looks like Crackedy has definitely turned away from the Musafati warriors, seeing that he has kept SAS off of men-at-arms and knights for as long as he has, and he is instead going for a javelin Donzo comp, which I really like. I do think that I would personally, we're starting to see the javelin Sofa comp, and we're starting to see Donzos get thrown into the mix, and I think that's a very, very good play, and I think that's the exact thing you want to do, because eventually you are going to see knights, and we are seeing some horsemen, so those Donzos are definitely going to get value, and they do, like, throwing spears at a horse archer is good value. Like, that does do a lot of damage to them. So I think this makes sense. You know, villager count is about equal, and on one hand we do have the bounty system and the high trade house for Roos, and he also has a second TC, so we are going to get a slight lead. But at the same time, we do have a Grand Filani that is not quite fully set up, but it's getting there, and the more setup it gets, the better it is for Crackedy. I really do feel like economic-wise, this game is equal. And the military count is slightly in the military count is slightly in the favor of SAS as the Rus player, but I don't think it's going to stay that way. I think we're about to start seeing the flood of units that you expect to see out of a Malian player. And the first villager of the game starts to go down, and it is SAS losing villagers as he tries to get these walls up. 3 villagers go down there. This is not insignificant, like keeping the villager count close to equal. As I say that, more villagers on the other side of the map go down for Crackedy. Horse archers and horsemen run in. A low cav raid here has managed to pick up 4 villagers. Gonna get 5. We don't have textiles here, which would be so helpful for this situation. And oh wow, that villager manages to live despite that. Another one going down. One more shot. Yeah, we do get a 6th villager kill here. And, you know, losing villagers sucks, but Crackedy is playing the Civ with the most passive gold. And as I say that, the veteran sofas, they do find out this boar, and 3 sofas with imported armor will kill this tower. Yeah, like they will take out this tower with their +2 ranged armor. And in the meantime, a fight in the center of the map, right at Crackedy's base. A Springald trying to do its best to just go to town here, but it's going to get taken out by the Donzos. Or no, it's just going to get pushed back a little bit. And unfortunately, SAS has most of his army here, so he is able to defend and push Crackedy back. All we have left for Crackedy are these javelin throwers who have resigned themselves to their doom and are going to die. In the meantime, the Sofas just did a run through, picked up 7 villager kills on their way through the base, and the ones, oh no, SAS accidentally got his out. What? No, Crackedy. Okay, we killed one as a warning, and now we're gonna head off. Okay, I don't know what that was. But yeah, in terms of overall army count, SAS definitely has a pretty sizable lead here, and we are starting to see men-at-arms. So, you know, those Musafati need to come back into the mix here, which isn't going to be hard for SAS to or for Crackedy to make. But I don't know if he's going to be able to handle the pressure that he's about to be under. Like, you know, this warrior monk and these spearmen are running at this gold mine. The front of his base was under attack for a couple seconds there, and then we have more just random spearmen raids, like a unit you never see used as a mobile raiding unit. But SAS is doing a lot with them, and in the center we still see fighting over this sacred site. And more villagers are going down on each side of the map. And this large pit mine is about to be denied. This one villager trapped himself in a wall. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's funny. And fight in the center. Oh, okay. Well, it's a lot of sofa. 27 sofa out, but there's 23 crossbowmen to fight them. Like, I think that's it's a rough sign here. I don't know who wins if we take a straight up fight, but I don't think either player is actually going to look for that straight up fight. Crackedy is fine with what he's doing here, where he's just denying sacred sites and trying to get some harassment off, like burning down these walls, killing a couple villagers when he does. Going for the Springolds as his way to counter all the spearmen that he has been seeing. But the big issue that we're about to have is there's 29 crossbowmen and there's only 5 javelin throwers. So, you know, these Sofa are going to do a really good job. They're going to burn down this wooden fortress and get a lot done with that. And this boar is pretty much worn out, like pretty much used up. But on the other side of the map, more villagers going down as they attempt to wall. That is a third TC for SAS, by the way. Like, he understands the way he's going to get back into this game is just by out-egoing his opponent. And you need a lot of TCs to do that when you're playing against the Malians. But even with that, we are having more Sofa raids, more damage going down. Like, I think the Sofa can actually kill this TC if the army doesn't get involved, but it is. So instead, Crackedy is just going to say, you know what, I'll pick up a couple villagers on the way out, the ones that are building this really far too late wall, and we're going to run away this way. And SAS says, hey, you know, raids are good, so we're going to send our horsemen off. But as he does, there's nothing in the front of his base where all the springolds are, and every single springald gets just destroyed by the Sofas. A mangonel comes out, doesn't even get a shot off before it's surrounded by the Sofas, and this fight is happening under TC, but it just doesn't matter. There's nobody inside the TC to add to firepower. SAS has these 4 springolds, and they're just raining hell on earth down upon the spearmen as they try to hold off the Sofa. This fight, this game turned around very, very quickly. While yes, SAS has a lot of crossbowmen, they're not here. Like, he's trying to get raids off on the other side of the map, but they're not being successful. Crackedy is instead getting more damage done with Sofas on you know, every side of the map that he can, and he's just killing everything. These villagers are going down. This is up to 26 villager killed. Like, SAS is on 3 TC and he's only up 4 villagers now, and he has 17 workers idle. The crossbowmen for big Wololo, are they able to get out in time? Yes. Okay. Somehow those Wololos don't actually account for anything, but SAS's army does show up and, like, prevents Crackedy from leaving, but Crackedy doesn't care. He's just running for villagers. He wants to get every single villager kill that he can. He's up to 33 villager kills. He is equal on workers despite only being on 1 TC. And when you account for the fact that his economy hasn't been idle this entire time, and he has cows, and he has pit mines that are just creating passive gold, he's winning this game drastically. Oh, no. All right, SAS is almost about able to stabilize. And even as I say that, Crackedy does have a massive units on the way. Like, this is a lot of dozos and a lot of Sofas that are about to just run into SAS's base and just do the exact same thing over and over again until he yields. 6 springolds means that, like, this spearman mass that he's trying to build up isn't going to get anywhere. The crossmen are really where it's at, and SAS isn't able to go into knights because of the amount of donzos and springolds that are on the board. So, okay, we have a little bit of a calm period before the storm, as both players do their best to, you know, prepare for the next bout of fights. And Crackedy is going to be taking some sacred sites away from SAS. SAS is just getting the stone up, and I'm really wondering whether or not he's going to try and go for a keep. Oh, wow. I didn't realize this, but apparently Crackedy never rebuilt this pit mine. So once this goes up, yeah, this is going to go up, and then this is just going to add to the effective production that Crackedy has. I really do think he's got this game. Yeah, Crackedy is getting some good trying to get some raids in. You know, as a Sofa, just creating pings, which is a lot more than people think it is. Like, even at this high level, just having that annoyance in your opponent's ear, like, means there's a chance that they're not going to hear when something else happens. But SAS is doing his best to stabilize. He was up to like 900 stone. So I'm wondering, did he build a keep? Yes, he did. So we do have a keep dead center. He is going to be able to get a springald emplacement. And are we going to see another game from SAS? Similar to the last one where he just ecos up as much as he can and hides behind keeps. And apparently Crackedy says, you know what? I remember what happened last time. I am not dealing with it. I'm going to destroy this keep as soon as I can. And I'm going to destroy this keep as soon as I can. And then as soon as I do that, I'm going to fire Rade from the Rising Empires team. And we're just going to get Sacred Sites. Or we were. I don't... Where's the Emon? There was an Emon right here. Okay, I don't know. Oh, he went over here. Okay. Yes, like SAS walks out with his like massive units, and then just they all die to springalds. He's like, oh, I can't do that. So let us see where we are going to end up. All right. Still some little skirmishes as SAS tries to like cut off reinforcements and keep that maintained. SAS does have the stone to be able to repair this, but I don't think he's going to be able to. Moving out, immediately walking into veteran archers with poison arrows and realizing that's a bad idea. Or, no, sorry, poison arrows is about to come through. But walking out into the veteran archers and realizing this is a bad idea. This army from Crackedy is insane. Like, and this army from SAS is insane. Like, they're both doing the siege play from last game, and I really dig it. Like, I love seeing the way Game 1 influences Game 2 and so on. And it seems like these players both think that Siege is really good right now, but in a good way. But not in as oppressive a way as it used to be. But the Sofas do wrap around, manage to get on top of the Siege for SAS, and a lot of these springalds are starting to go down. The mangonels are starting to get chopped up. The springalds are starting to get chopped up. And they are retreating, but they're going to retreat to this keep, and then the keep is just going to be able to help. I don't think the keep is going to be able to help keep them protected. A couple of workers get pulled, trying to repair the springalds and mangonels through the damage that they are suffering. But as we say this, it's, you know, Crackedy has doubled the army supply, and he admittedly doesn't have nearly as much siege as his opponent, but I'm not certain which one matters. Like, these mangonels and springalds are doing so much damage on one side, but the other side still has so many units that maybe it's fine. And we have a third trebuchet, so this keep is under pressure. SAS is about to run out of stone to be able to repair that. And if that happens, then this game is just going to crack wide open. Because this base is going to crack open, like just, you know, like a walnut. Stofas run forward, pick up one mangonel. Are they going to be able to pick up a second mangonel? Yes. No. Yes, they do manage to get it. Springalds raining fire. Springalds and mangonels raining fire on these archers. These archers are not long for this world. I actually think that this is a unit that needs to, like, it is a good unit to have, but it needs to have a lot more support than it is getting out of Crackedy right now. But the keep managed to stay up. What? Oh my God! So Crackedy managed to, or SAS managed to keep the keep alive. Yeah, that's a mouthful. And he also destroyed the trebuchets. So despite that fight, at one point having Crackedy having double the number of military units, it is completely in SAS's favor right now because he's playing this, you know, mech build, this like bastardized mech build like you would expect from seeing StarCraft. And I'm, again, all here for it because I think it's a really interesting way to play. But Gorge is definitely, we're definitely seeing, getting into the later part of the game where Gorge starts to get cut off. We're seeing walls go up, or try to go up at least, from SAS, and that's going to drastically affect any mobility on the map, allow him to start capturing sacred sites and use those as a leverage point to take over the game. And we might be in for a long one here, chat. Like, we're, what, 32 minutes in? And I'm expecting this to go for at least another 10. You know, so... and I don't know who's going to win this. Like, I think Crackedy is definitely in a good position to do so, but... Oh, fight starts. A couple Sofa get picked off. The Sofa on the other side of the map managed to catch the horsemen as they were going to raid the pit mine. And if the siege stays away, this fight is good for Crackedy. If the siege shows up, he needs to run. And he knows the siege isn't nearby, but he is still backing up because it's going to happen eventually. The horsemen on that raid do end up dying out, and we are starting to get to a pretty... We are starting to get into the late game. Like, I expect us to actually see... Imperial pretty soon. You know, we have a couple raiders going on here. We have a couple skirmishes going on here. As I say it, again, guys, my third eye is open. I see the future. And there is a high armory starting up for SAS. He says, you know what? Imperial sounds like a good idea. I've got enough food per minute where I can replace what I just spent in literally a minute. And we're just going to go and we're going to take this to the late game. We're going to get our siege workshops. And I'm actually... Still more raids being attempted and not getting very far. God, there's so many pings. I know we were talking earlier about how pings can still be pings can definitely distract you in the even at this level, and I think this might be happening for Crackedy because it's definitely happening for me as the observer. But no, what I was going to say is I'm actually a little bit surprised that we are seeing a high armory and not a Spitskaya tower. I think this might be one of the few. I think this matchup right here is one of the few times where you would want to see it because SAS wants to get stone walls, I think. And we do see a Fort of the Huntress being put on this sacred site. So Crackedy is going up for Imperial as well. But yeah, like, if he had been able to get a Spitskaya tower, like, right here to guard this sacred site, I think that does so much for him. Admittedly, that's, like, super risky and super greedy, so I can understand why he didn't try it. But it is definitely an interesting thought for the way the game could have gone. Now, as I say that, since we are in such a mech-heavy playstyle here, as more spearmen just run onto this location, you know, since we are doing such a mech-heavy style, it does make sense to go for a high armory, since, you know, increasing the efficacy of your springalds with by increasing their range by a full tower and reducing the setup time for getting rid of the setup time for your mangonels and bombards makes sense. Like, that does seem like it's going to be a pretty drastic increase. Oh my god, these pings need to chill. Can you guys, like, stop for 5 seconds? Because I can't keep up with what's happening. There's just so many raids, and they're not actually... I don't feel like they're accounting for much. SAS isn't getting villager kills as he's doing this. Oh, he is getting cow kills, though, which is actually pretty good here. So he does push off. Okay. All right, we are getting something out of here. To be fair, this is now 1,500 food that Crackedy's villagers can actually, like, gather, so. But speaking of food, yeah, Crackedy is... Okay, so he does have some farms going on. And that's what he's using to supplement his cow income. He could vacuum up these berries if he really wanted to. Get a quick little boost, but... Alright, alright. We don't have any trade, by the way. Even though each player does have a trade post on their side of the walls, and Crackedy himself has not actually made any walls of his own. And admittedly, he hasn't mined any stone. The only keep he's made this game is the Fort of the Huntress, and I really think that is a mistake. He needs to be mining stone. He needs to be getting his own keeps down, his own stone walls down, as he tries to, like, gain map control, because if you don't have walls, you don't have map control. SAS is able to respond to this so much quicker because he has this keep on the sacred site. He has these walls, these onion knight walls. Sigurd is very, very happy seeing these, and he's able to just keep things where he wants it to be. And yeah, these villagers are dying, but he's at 140 economy, so he doesn't care that they're dying. And even as we say that, we have, you know, this raid going on here. We have I assume Crackedy's or SAS's army is going to respond to this at some point. Oh no, I think SAS is worn thin. I don't think he's able to actually respond to these threats. Crackedy is just running past the keep. Like, there's nothing over here, but eventually he'll get over here. And this is where there's stuff. If he burns this down, gets onto production, gets onto the farmlands, like, there's so much damage that can happen. And then at the same time, on this side of the map, we do have these villagers running to their doom. This attempt again at delaying this pit mine is not going anywhere. The predicted destruction of this wall and onto the farm and onto the production is about to happen, and we're also seeing some fights over the middle. The Fort of the Huntress is about to go down, though. Sorry about that. Yeah, more fights, more raiding from Crackedy. Like, these units are still inside of his base, keeping him tied up, and he is just not able to get any. He's not able to get out of his base. Like, SAS destroyed this Fort of the Huntress, but that's it. Like, it was just a couple of bombards taking shots. The rest of his army, and his army is slow because it's predominantly siege, has to run back to the base. And we're also seeing, we are seeing one of the downside, or one of the positives of the free resources that Malians get. They don't have to have that many. They don't have to have 130 population in villagers in order to be able to make their late game. So we only have 93 villager population, and the rest is just army. And Crackedy's capped out with a considerably larger army, even when you account for the siege, for the 21 population of siege. But more raids are going on. More death is happening. Admittedly, like, so many villagers have died in this game. We haven't really had the chance to talk about it because it's just been all of these these small raids that I can't keep up with. But so many villagers have died over here for Crackedy. SAS lost a lot of villagers here and here earlier. So, yeah, like, SAS is at 220 villagers, but he's lost 60. And Crackedy's lost 40. And I think SAS has said I think SAS is over it. He's just walking forward, and the mangonel's gone. Crackedy had a mangonel, and it disappeared under fire of other mangonels. But yeah, SAS just says it's done. He is bringing his mangonels forward. He's bringing his siege mass forward, and he is going to rain fiery hell upon his opponent, Crackedy, as he tries to take this fight. And I don't know if it's going to work. There was not nearly enough of a front line with these units, and these siege units are going to start going down. But as they go down, they're just going to be replaced by trash units, like a lead horseman with Boyar's Fortitude, and Streltsy and Spearmen are coming in instead. It looks like SAS is actually just saying, you know what? I don't want to play the siege game anymore. I want to play a classic endgame where it's mass infantry versus mass infantry. And these battering rams are so capable of a little bit of damage and actually delaying SAS's army, but it doesn't look like it matters. Like, SAS's army is here on time, and it is here to play. It is doing so much damage here. So many units have died, and even as I say that, a couple of the bombards are being rebuilt. We are starting to see other units, being added in, while Crackedy does get a couple of raids in here. And I think these villagers I think this is a misclick. I don't think those villagers are supposed to be here, but they're not long for this. What is he doing? Oh, he's trying to wall this off. Interesting. Yeah, this is a hell of a game. Like, so much is going on here. As more and I think SAS messed up. Like he tried to move out and his economy was really good, but he just didn't have the bank to support what he needed. As like I said earlier, Crackedy doesn't need to have as many villagers, so he's able to just make a larger army and have more on the field, and we're starting to see that. 110 with 8 rams on the board is a lot of units, and these bombards are going to do a lot of damage, but they're only doing so much. And like right now, they're just shooting the Mustafati that are coming at them. Never mind this frontline unit, these front lights of like Mustafati, Donzo, Sofa, like all of these melee units that should be going down aren't. And we talked about, you know, we talked about mech being, we talked about like this mech idea from SAS working really well earlier, but he lost all of it. He just can't recover from it. And it feels like he's kind of stuck in this between two worlds situation where he wanted to swap out of the mech idea, swap out of the siege and mech idea into a more traditional infantry army. And now he's like realizing that was a bad idea, and he's trying to go back into his siege. He just can't do it fast enough. And he just doesn't have the resources for it. You know, he's got a lot of food and he's got a lot of gold income, but he doesn't have any wood. Only 800 wood income at this stage of the game is not going to be enough when you're, you know, having to make units that cost 300 to 500 wood a pop. So, well, admittedly, SAS is pushing, it is holding his base, is getting his base back. Like he is holding Crackedy back. There are still some random little bits and pieces here of villagers dying, and this is starting to rack up. This is starting to become a problem for SAS. But he lost so much production. He lost so many buildings. He had a university here. He had a siege workshops, multiple stables, things like that he's losing. And he's also losing villagers that are just randomly on the wrong side of this wall. I'm so or he's not losing. I'm so confused what's happening here. I mean, I guess SAS is just saying, hey, if I can get all the stone off the map before you do, that's a win condition. Because eventually he'll just make more keeps. I guess, but like he can't build stone walls, which would be like the really big thing, because he doesn't have a specified tower. Man, this is something. I am not certain how to feel about this game. We also aren't at the point where we're going to see, we also haven't started to see trade happening at all, but I think we're going to pretty soon. If SAS ever remembers to rebuild this and like get some gates up, he could do that. He is finally getting biology, getting that plus 25% HP. Probably going to get elite army tactics. Probably going to get chemistry and serpentine powder. Like he needs his university techs. And speaking of universities, yeah, like elite army tactics and incendiary is something that Crackedy has. So not only does he have a massive army, 110 population of army, that massive population is just strictly better. Because it has better tech supporting it. And Streltsy like are great, but if you don't have serpentine powder, you're gonna run into a problem. All right, the score of the Huntress is gonna go down again, which, admittedly, like with where this is put, I kind of feel like that's kind of a little bit expected. And a couple units running in from Crackedy trying to see if they can dive bomb the siege, get a couple of those bombards down, but unfortunately not quite able to. Fine-tuned guns, cord architects, and elite army tactics. Do we have serpentine powder yet? Yes, we do. Okay. Yeah, admittedly, I don't think chemistry is actually as good as it used to be, since it only affects bombards or royal cannons if you cannons if you have that. So that tech's probably not as important to get as it used to be. But oh no, the bombards got abandoned. The bombards need to run away. These Musafati are just going to be able to destroy them very, very quickly. Like, the keep is able to help somewhat, and the villagers are being sacrificed to fight them instead. But three of them managed to make it out. One of them doesn't. And as I say that, the Streltsy also took heavy damage as well. Oh, that's a brave warrior monk running up on that. Running up on the sacred site there. And that one's getting capped as well. We have another raid on the east side looking at that pit mine. I am not going to bother looking at it because these warriors... Oh no! Crackedy went into mass warrior scouts as a way to destroy the bombards. Oh geez, that is a very, very good play. More damage coming down here. Streltsy just unleashing fire on these archers that Crackedy has amassed, and archers are a very good counter to Streltsy and to hand cannons because you're basically, losing one-on-one, but they're so cheap and they're so quick to make that it doesn't really matter. You're just going to overwhelm them with numbers. And as we say that, a couple of horsemen running in. We are seeing some trade with toll posts coming out of Crackedy. He is starting to get a little bit of that, a little bit of income mixed in that way. And as I say that, SAS is completely aware of what's going on. He does have horsemen and spearmen in the back of his base. But this fight around the fort of the Huntress is still going on. Crackedy attempted to repair it, but it's just that villagers that were attempting that have gone down, and this Fort of the Huntress is going to go down with it. And we are just seeing a large push up this left-hand flank. Top lane is taking damage here, guys, as more and more production is getting destroyed. So a fair bit of what Crackedy has for buildings is in this area. Like, so much of it in it. Like, he can get pop capped if these start going down very quickly. But this a large part of this raiding force that SAS has had going on in the back of Crackedy's base is getting cleaned up. The walling, is the walling gonna finish? Oh man, if SAS manages to wall this off completely, that's gonna be very, very impressive, and it's gonna be a very big problem for Crackedy to have to deal with. But as I say that, Crackedy is under pressure on the left-hand side. His villagers on his farmlands are going to need to start running away pretty soon with the way that they are being pressured. And more, this is just a back and forth. This feels like Verdun almost. Just like this trench warfare where we're fighting for not miles, we're fighting for inches, and Crackedy calls it. What? Like, we just went out with a whisper. There wasn't even a big fight there. Admittedly, like, Crackedy's villager count has been very, very low this entire game, and his overall economy count has actually been similar because of the cows and because of the pit mines. I'm kind of shocked that he just called it there.